My name is Trindlin Edith Money Fugo. What's your name?
My name's Bill.
Bill.
Okay,
That good?
yeah, I'm trying to answer this, I didn't ask him.
Oh, okay.
Like you didn't ask him?
Yeah, the water.
And how long have you been married, Bill?
I've been married 23 years. I don't know about you.
23 years?
23 years.
He answered right. Okay, get that. Do you have makeup on? Get your answers.
Makeup on.
Okay.
We're supposed to have makeup. We're on camera.
Oh, I broke the
Supposed to have
camera.
makeup. Look what you did.
Okay.
You know what? There's other people that have to use
Sorry.
these. No. The thing is there.
Sorry, mister.
No, she can't see that close. So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've been married 23 years.
We got married when we were in our 20s. 20s.
28.
No, it's
24.
It's more than the question.
Okay, all right.
Uh-oh.
I'm older than Bill.
You dropped my questions.
You can get him.
What?
Okay, how important was a relationship with God when you were married?
Well, I knew it was really important that God be involved in our marriage, but I had no idea what that meant, really. So we knew when we got married that we wanted to get married in the church, and we knew that we wanted to have communion,
Which we did.
but we,
All right.
yeah, but we
It
really,
wasn't like the center of the marriage, I guess you could say. It was important, but it wasn't like, it didn't revolve like it should have, I guess.
yeah.
Learning.
Okay, how important is the relationship with God now for your marriage?
Oh, it is the center of our marriage. It's absolutely essential. Couldn't do it without him.
Had a rough time about 4 years into our marriage or so. We looked at each other and went, man, I don't even know you. And we weren't very friendly with each other, huh?
No.
And then Bill came to know Christ, and it was a big weight off my shoulders. And we argue a lot different now.
We discuss.
What is marriage like when God is at the center of your marriage?
Oh, you breathe first.
When God is at the center, I think it's not as heavy.
It's not as selfish.
It doesn't last as long. And it's more enjoyable. Can laugh a little bit more, and it's a lot better. A lot better.
So, in contrast, what's it like when God's not the center of your marriage?
It's chaotic, and it's noticeable when we don't put God first in our marriage. It gets chaotic. We don't click. We can't talk to each other. Communication just doesn't work. We don't understand where each other's coming from, and it's horrible.
I'm sad.
If you could go back in time and provide marriage counseling to yourself, knowing what you know now, to your younger self, what would you say?
Well, that one took me a while. I actually spend more time actually sharing my past with Trendlin. My past, I wasn't real proud of my past, and so it was very difficult to share things with Trendlin. But I think it's important, no matter what. And so if I could go back and do that prior to marriage, I would do that. What about you?
I think I'd tell myself that it's not all about me. And I don't know if I would have even listened or understood it, but the marriage is really important. It's really important.
Okay. What advice would you give to people who struggle in their marriage?
Go ahead.
Well, I would say make sure that you get help when you need it, and that it's not embarrassing or wrong, or sometimes you just can't figure things out. And we've been to every marriage retreat that we can go to, every conference, every Bible study. We always learn new things, or at least remember things that we've learned in the past. But don't be afraid to get help, and it's okay. And when you're stubborn and you refuse to get help, you're just thinking of yourself,
That's right.
and not the person
That's
who
right.
who needs it.
And you probably want to try to go to someone who's going to be not like your close friend, who's going to side with you. You need to go to a non-biased couple that you know, maybe someone who could mentor you through that. So, yeah.
Or your chaplain.
Absolute, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, before you got married, when you were growing up, did you think it would be easy when you got married? Did things change once you got married? I mean, I can say this, and then you can kind of relate to this. I got married. I didn't think it'd be any different from than living with my parents or my family. So, learning about marriage and how to, get along was not something that was important to me. And was it stubborn of me not to go to a marriage counselor or a marriage retreat or anything like that? I mean, do you feel like you're raising your kids to know about marriage and to learn about it?
Wow.
That's a lot.
I know, sorry.
No, I didn't mean like that. It's just like, we are trying to teach our kids to be open about not being selfish about marriage. It's not all about you. It's not all about how you feel. It's not a team effort, but you really gotta step outside yourself and think about what's going on, rather than how do I feel, right now. And with me, my parents, there wasn't like training from my parents. I saw them and I saw how they handled situations and stuff like that. So maybe unconsciously, I got some pointers from them. But before we got married, I didn't think it was going to be more or less than dating.
He was real romantic, though. I think you thought... I'll tell you what you thought. No, I think you thought that it was going to be romantic and blissful, and I wasn't so sure. I had no idea, really.
Yeah.
I had no idea what a marriage looked like. I had no idea what a mom and a dad might look like. I had no idea. And so we had a really, really, really good friend, pastor, who took us under his wing and made us go through premarital counseling, because I didn't have a clue. I wasn't ready to get married. Were you? Yeah.
I asked you, so I think I was.
Yeah. So yeah, I think everybody should have to do premarital counseling.
I think it's
3 times.
as much as you can before you get married.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Yeah. I think it saved us, really.
Yeah.
Just little things that people might say, like that this crazy feeling for one another would eventually just kind of slow down. I think if nobody had told me that it wasn't going to be all butterflies all the time, that would have
affected you?
a lot. Yeah, I think so.
So what's the best advice anybody ever told you?
What? Did you have an answer?
Chaplain Navarro said,
say that.
you knew I was going to say
Yeah.
that? What then? What
Go
is
ahead.
it?
Well, I knew it was going to be something with Chaplain Navarro.
Chaplain Navarro said to always sleep in a double bed and never get a queen or a king size bed.
He did say that.
So, 23 years later,
Still on a double.
still sleeping in a double.
More room in the bedroom for what advice would you give to those in a relationship who are considering marriage?
Go to
I'll
marriage.
tell you what, let's do it differently.
Okay.
If your kids were considering marriage right now,
Yeah,
what advice
that's
would you give them?
and that's what I was thinking about. Go to marriage retreats, go to premarital counseling, and then talk about it. Talk about what went through your head during those times. If you have, I put down on my answers, if you have any feelings that you're having inside that you don't want to tell your boyfriend or girlfriend because you don't want to hurt their feelings, you need to talk about those, especially because they will come out eventually. Now is the time, not necessarily, I would say now is the time to venture into that area, I guess, so it's not so painful later.
Like no secrets? Is that what you're talking about?
Stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's little quirky things that's bugging you, stuff that he or she does, that you're like, oh, I don't want to tell her or him because it's, just talk about it.
Yeah.
The sooner you talk about it and be open, the better it is in the marriage later on.
Yeah, and then you don't have, yeah, absolutely. And I would say talk about money.
Yep.
How are you going to do your finances? Are you going to have separate accounts? Are you going to have the same account? Are you going to put, are you going to get an allowance? Is she going to get an allowance? Something, yeah. Talk about money. Talk about kids. How many you think you want to have? How you think you might want to discipline them? That would be a big one.
So how do you feel about this church? How about Renew? How we've done in this series, how we've done this series. How important is it for the church to talk about marriage?
Well, I think it's very important because just in the 4 weeks, Spencer's pointed out the biblical references to marriage, and for those whose marriage isn't God-centered right now, that kind of gives them an idea of, well, there is really good information, there is good counseling in God's Word that they could use in their marriage, whereas they would have never thought that there was any instruction whatsoever on their particular situation, but there is. That's it. That's all I have.
We've talked about it. We've talked about it with our kids, with each other. What Spencer's been talking about. It's amazing that there's always something to learn. I mean, you would think after 23 years you'd pretty much know it all, I guess, but no way. There's something new all the time and something to work on, and yeah.
And that's good.
That's good.
Well, thank you for having a superstar marriage. That's it.
Cool.
And let's. Thanks, Pete.
That was fun. Bye.